Hey everybody, welcome back to Faraday Research. It's Monday morning, and over the weekend I did the replication of the Gerard Morin generator. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, bottom right hand corner, and also all the links are in the description, and you can donate to my channel through PayPal, as well as I have my Patreon there. So if you haven't become a Patreon, you could do so below in the description. And also, if you like the video at the end, give me a thumbs up for it. And yeah, so over the weekend, I did the Gerard Morin energy generator. So I purchased pretty much everything you see on the table here you can get from Amazon. So I got the DC motor hooked up. It's a 24 volt brushed DC motor, and it's got the shaft there. And then I also purchased the washing machine pump motor, which Gerald Morin in his videos describes this actually as a energy RF generator. So yeah, so it was probably one of the most easier builds I've done. Because I've already had the rig set up. This rig actually had my end machine on it, so I was able to remove part of that and then just reconfigure it. It's very easy to swap things in and out, so I wanted to build this fast and get it done and be able to share my findings with you guys today. So yeah, it was a great success. It works well. There is a bit of vibration with this motor, so I've been kind of working on that. I've been putting a little bit of foam underneath there to kind of limit the amount of foam or vibrations that are generated by the motor. So Gerald Morin, he used a power supply, and it turns out about 18 volts. So it turns out when I did my rig, you need exactly 18 volts to get this motor to run at the, at the sustained RPM of 4,000 RPMs to light up the light bulb consistently and put out enough power. So yeah, I cranked it up all the way. Actually, this motor can go to 24 volts, so I cranked it up and I got about 130 volts AC out of it. So this platform here is kind of a building block where you can start. So what if you watch Gerard Morin's videos, and I highly recommend that you do, watch all the videos pertaining with this setup here and how you take this simple platform and step it up. So you would get high voltage step up transformers and hook it up to this system, and you could go from say 130 volts and you can get into the kilovolts if you want. So much power, in fact, you could actually run an entire house with it, provided that you have enough power and capacitance in your system to sustain loads. So when I do put like say a 4 watt or an 8 watt bulb, you'll notice there will be a change in the motor speed because now you got resistance. So keeping that in mind, this is not really where you want to take your load off directly from this motor. You want to use this generator motor as a starting point to your system, okay? Because now you can get about 130 volts out of it AC at about I believe it's 1.8 amps, okay? Which is more than enough power to take a larger step-up transformer that will produce a lot more horsepower, okay? So therefore, you're going to be able to step up your potential to the point where it won't add any extra added stress to this motor. So if you run things directly off this motor, like I'm going to demonstrate today, you'll have a difference in RPM speed. So you have to be careful with that because this thing can only handle so much power. So it's a starting building block, but it's a solid AC power, 60 hertz at 120 to 130 volts, depending on how fast your prime mover or your DC motor is. Now, he gets into later down the road, switching from a brushed DC motor into those drone motors. Okay, now those drone motors are way, 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 way more efficient and also have the torque to go with it. So I want to just replicate his starting point of where he started with his research, and this is pretty much it. And it's a very, very simple device. So on the system, I added a capacitor. This is used for like starter motors. So this kind of gives you a little bit of buffer, so it's not so hard on pulling amperage off your washing machine pump motor. And I got this thing for like $40 on Amazon, and I got it in 3 days. So yeah, the parts are out there. You can get them right now. Even this motor, it's a 24-volt brushed motor. It's a motor generator, and this is actually the motor generator I'm going to actually put into my flywheel generator, because I think this one here, I believe, puts out 30 watts. So I can take this now and install that on my flywheel generator and actually continue my experiments with the flywheel generator, which I think is probably going to be the best bet to actually get over Unity. But I'll tell you how you get over Unity with this device, okay, and how you're able to loop it. Now, you have to have, I don't care what anybody says, you have to have a section of your device that holds a capacitance, whether it's a capacitor or a battery bank, okay? There's no getting around that, okay? Unless we come up with some amazing thing that we're able to do without those two, a capacitor or a battery. But we're not there yet. We have to understand what 0-point energy is. We have to know how to manifest it, because that's exactly what this thing does. It's a generator, but not in the sense that you would think. This actually produces an RF power. When I run it up, and actually I've seen Gerard Morin do, he fired it up and ran it and actually touched the lead for the power outlet. Okay, I can confirm it's true. I was getting 130 volts out of it, and I'm able to put my finger on the positive and not get electrocuted. So that proves that this machine is producing an RF. Okay, if I was pumping out a true AC voltage at 130 volts at 60 hertz, I would be in the hospital right now. Okay, so what if I'm able to touch that lead while this thing is running? I should be dead. So because I'm able to do that, the question is obviously why? Because what we are generating here is an RF power source, okay? Now the drone motors, and actually I did a video, if you look in my video section of all the videos I did do a video on the drone motor and how they work, all right? So basically, just to kind of recap on that, the drone motor controller that makes that motor run does not pump out a three-phase power source, what you would think. It's actually a radio transmitter. And when you turn on the drone motor, you flip the power switch on to start it, the motor will go dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, and it'll make a sound. And that sound is actually coming from the motor itself. And there's no speakers in the motor. It is resonating a power, an RF frequency between the coil and the magnet. That vibration is creating the sound. Now, I could also take that same RF generator that runs the drone motor, hook it up to a speaker, and it will get exactly the same sound. So that proves that the three-phase drone motors, or they call them the outrunner motors, they run on an RF power source. Now, the RF power source can intermingle with an AC current. They mesh together. They're the same thing, but they're controlled, they're modulated in a very, very methodical manner that, you know, you can't tell the difference between an RF and an AC current. Now, the AC current will not produce an RF signal because the principles of how it's generated is different. Okay? This thing will actually produce an RF signal. If it was producing a pure AC alternating current, when I touched that lead, I would have been dead. Okay? So, and that's not the case. All right. So I'm going to just kind of demonstrate this really fast for you. I'm going to bump it up. I got it. Let's put it up to, let's go 18 volts. All right. And I'm going to fire it up and you can see it. And it doesn't take that much power to get it going. This is only 4 watts. It's a little bit of vibration going. But as you can see, it's 4 watts and I've already got it fully lit. Very simple. Now I'm going to shut it off. This is 4.5 watts. I'm going to put an 8.5 watt. And then I got to grab another bulb after this. And I'm going to show you something. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start this. Got a vibration issue that I gotta try to fix on this. But you can see it's producing, that's running 8 watts. And I can bump it up faster if I want to. So yeah, I gotta work on the vibration issue. Obviously that's a problem right now. So I might have to fix the rig up and line things up a little bit better. But it does work, and it works very well. Actually, it looks like it's moving on the camera. When you see it, it's actually looking like it's modulating. It's because the flicker of the light with the object is actually making that kind of, making it look like it's rubber. It's really cool actually to see it in real life. But yeah, so you kind of get the understanding of it. Just hold on 1 second. I got to grab another bulb here. Okay, now to show that we're actually generating a real power is heat, all right? Now, all the other generators that I worked on cold electricity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up. This is a 25 watt incandescent bulb. All right. Now, this bulb will actually generate heat to the point where I cannot even touch it. It is so hot. All right. This vibration problems giving me issues here. But it is generating a lot of heat. This is hot. So that means not only that, I'm also generating a lot of amperage on this. So yeah, it was about almost 100 degrees. So that's proven that there's a huge amount of electrons. So what it's doing is manifesting a huge amount of electrons on the 2 coils. There's 2 coils at the bottom here. And they're wrapped around a steel core. And the steel core is where the magnet is. It's a 2-pole, so you got positive, negative, and that rotates through that iron core and creates the field and starts manifesting all the electrons in. And then it comes out the back end through the 2 prongs at the back, and then I just hook it up here. And let's just see what's going on here real fast. See if we can get why this thing's vibrating so badly. I'll have to definitely work on this vibration issue. But, you know, it does work, and yeah, I just got to perfect the setup. So you can see it glowing. I'm going to keep it low. But, yeah, it's generating a lot of heat. A lot of heat. So it's definitely pumping the power. Yes. So yeah, it generates a lot of power, and that heat there is an indication that there's amperage there, and this bulb is hot right now. It's really hot. So, yeah, I'll try taking it off without burning my fingers. But, oh yeah, she's hot. So that's proving that a lot of current is being generated in this system. So, here, I'll put it back to the small bulb so I can just run it. Yeah, so, yeah, it turned out great. So, if you got any questions or comments, definitely send me a comment below on the device. And basically, I just use like a plastic tubing, and I think just the alignment I have is a little bit off. And also this clamp, because it's got some mass on one side, it's causing the vibration. So I might have to come up with a different method of coupling these things together. But yeah, you can see it's generates a lot of power. Like, I'm barely pushing this. So this is 4.5 watts. All right. So I can take that 4.5 watts and now put it up in a big step up transformer and go say from, when I get this thing lit up, it's about 80 to 100 volts. Now I can bump it up with a step up transformer and put out over 200 volts. And then as soon as I produce that 200 volts, then I can put it through a full wave bridge rectifier and hook it up to a variable or a variac or a controller that I can adjust the actual power output, and then I can charge batteries with it and run loads. So for a generation method, yeah, this thing is definitely a very, very viable piece of machinery to actually do. So yeah, it's very, very simple. I just bought a motor controller. I bought a box. I put the motor controller in the box. This thing can handle, I think, 50 watts. And then I hooked that up. I got a variable speed control here so I can actually control the RPM. So, yeah, and like this, right now I'm running this on 18 volts, and it's about 3/4 of an amp. So I got a good consistent source of generating power. And you just build up from here. This is like your base start point where you can start at. And you can make it into a very, very robust system. And yeah, and you can have a lot of fun with this and actually make something that's actually functional. You could actually take it on the road with it and use it, like if you're a camper or whatever. You know, bring a stack of batteries with you, and then while you're using one stack on an inverter to run your stuff, then you could have this thing charging the batteries on the other side, and you'll always have charged up batteries, and you don't have to rely on sun or wind or anything like that. So, and you can even run lights directly off the unit itself. So you could go in so many different directions with this thing, is what I'm trying to get at. Now, it's putting out, see, what's very important about this between my other, especially like the pulse motor in that, the pulse motor is more designed for charging things, not running an actual load. Where this thing, you can run loads with it because it's generating that heat. That heat means I'm pumping electrons. And that electron flow is what creates the real true power. You know, it doesn't matter about amperage really as much. It's a matter of being able to manifest the heating of an inductor. And if I can heat up a 25 watt bulb to like over 100 degrees, that means I'm pumping real true power through a system. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, the Gerard Morin device, real deal. It works. And you can just expand off it, which I'll probably will be in the later videos. I'm going to try getting a hold of some high voltage transformers and kind of step up the game a little bit. So yeah, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Any questions below, leave your questions in the bottom there. Also my Patreon, I got PayPal donation there, my Bitcoin. Please try to give me a handout and try to give me some help here to keep these experiments coming to you guys and keep the knowledge flowing. And that's what I want to do. I want to do these experiments of, you know, other people's work to show that there are devices out there that are the real deal, and Gerard Morin's stuff is the real deal. So pay attention to what he's saying, and you can learn some stuff off of him for sure. So anyways, have a great day, everybody, and we'll see everybody soon.